France deploys 10,000 additional security personnel across the country. Kerry makes an unannounced trip to Pakistan, then to France. And Cuba releases prisoners as part of a deal with the U.S. These are the True News headlines. I'm D.W. Balch. The French government is mobilizing 10,000 soldiers to increase security in the country following the terrorist attacks last week. 17 people were killed in 3 days of bloodshed, which began at the Charlie Hebdo headquarters in Paris. Correspondent Jack Perrick has more.
French President François Hollande is chairing a crisis meeting on national security with his cabinet after over 1.5 million people took to the streets to show solidarity with the victims of the Charlie Hebdo attacks on Sunday. Among the public, there's now debate about how these attacks were allowed to happen, while the 3 extremist Islamist perpetrators were all known in that capacity to authorities, and discussions about whether more needs to be done to prevent attacks of this nature are springing up in national media across Europe.
Secretary of State John Kerry is making an unannounced visit to Pakistan after completing a day of talks in India. He plans on pressing Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to do more to crack down on terrorism. Then off to Paris for talks on terrorism with government officials there, amid criticisms that the Obama administration failed to send significant senior figures to France for the weekend marches following last week's attacks. Simon Marks has more.
John Kerry's unannounced visit to Islamabad comes as the White House remains under fire for effectively sitting out Sunday's march in Paris. Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin.
I was wondering where my president was. He should have been there with everyone else.
He spoke on Fox News. Before leaving India, Mr. Kerry defended the U.S. decision. But now he will go to Paris for talks with the French government, 4 days after 40 other world leaders gathered there.
Cuba has reportedly completed the release of prisoners agreed to in a groundbreaking deal with the U.S. American officials have confirmed that all 53 detainees have now been freed. It's part of a wider effort to normalize relationships between the two longtime adversaries. British Prime Minister David Cameron has described an American terrorism analyst as an idiot for saying that the British city of Birmingham was a no-go area for anyone who's not a Muslim. Mr. Cameron was reacting to remarks made on Fox News by Steve Emerson. Simon Marks is in London.
David Cameron told Britain's ITV News that he nearly choked on his breakfast when he first heard of Mr. Emerson's remarks. This is what the analyst told Fox News on Sunday night.
There are actual cities like Birmingham that are totally Muslim, where non-Muslims just simply don't go in.
Mr. Emerson now calls that statement a mistake. Mr. Cameron says he's clearly an idiot, albeit one who is ubiquitous on American television and at congressional hearings on Capitol Hill.
For more news, views, and comments, go to TrueNews.com. That's TRUNEWS.com. I'm D.W. Balch.